Number 18, Sydney Clark. Number 19, Alexandra Sandoval. Number 20, Marissa Lamb. Number 25, Isabel Tola. Number 30, Barbara Serrano. Number 44, Myra De Lima. Number 69, Paula Polito. And starting in goal, number 32, Stephanie Rosen. And now the starters.
Should I be able, I should be able to hear her through here, right?
Yeah, but this mic needs to be plugged in first. So
Number 1, Michaela Boyle.
probably just
Number
maybe
3,
because this
Mia
window's shut.
Brookshire. Number 4, Natalie Berkey. Number 5, Emily Vetri. Number 10, Karen Dietrich. Number 13, Tyler Ball. Number 14, Josephine Esty. Number 16, Lydia Morris. Number 24, Guadalupe Maldonado. And starting in goal for your CCBC Essex Knights, number 20, Sam Tornator. The Knights are led by Joe Feedleader. Let's play ball.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Should I be able to hear you?
You should be able to hear me.
I cannot.
Okay, that's it. Just double check, make sure this is plugged in all the way. Double check that, make sure it pushes all the way.
I think it is.
Mic check 1, 2. Still nothing. All right.
Should I try this one?
Yeah, try that. If not, if it doesn't work, then you'll have to call somebody down. Mic check 1, 2.
No.
Nope.
Nope. I don't know.
I'm not sure what it is. It was working earlier, so I'll just walk you down to these guys or call them on something and they'll come up and help you.
You just can't hear. I can't hear the.
Mic check 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about the technical difficulties, but we are back here and ready for Game 2 of what is a 4-game Saturday
what is 4 games on Saturday and 4 games on Sunday tomorrow. Starting this Saturday with women's soccer, we had Harcum versus Montgomery, in Game 1. The Bears of Harcum were 4-0 winners over the Raptors of Montgomery. And now we have the Knights of CCBC Essex going up against the Monroe Mustangs. Mustangs in the blue and white jerseys. The Knights in the gold and blue jerseys. Quick hot potato to start things here. The Mustangs have control on this near sideline. Starting lineup for the Mustangs, number 2, Marara Reese. Number 4, Caitlin Waterman. Number 15, Luana Grabrias. Number 19, Sydney Clark. Number 19, Alexandra Sandoval. Number 20, Marissa Lamb. Number 25, Isabella Tola. Number 30, Barbara Serrano. Number 44, Mara De Lima. Number 69, Paula Toledo. And in goal, wearing number 32, Stefani Rosa. Starting lineup for the Knights, number 1, Michaela Boyle. Number 2, Mia Brookshire. Number 4, Natalie Berkey. Number 5, Emily Vetri. Number 13, Tyler Ball. Number 14, Josephine Esky. Number 16, Lydia Morris. Number 24, Guadalupe Maldonado. And number 20, Sam Tornator, is in goal for the Knights. It's a little back and forth action to start things here in this first half. Either team possessing the ball for very long. Mustangs, nice move there to get around one defender. Now they're going to cross fields, let it go over the head, and that'll be picked up by the Knights. Disaster averted momentarily, at least. So the Mustangs will still have possession. Let's see how good their throw-in unit is. We're 3 minutes into this first half. I want to let you know, everyone at home, the time that you see on your screen is not the official time. Once again, the time that you see on your screen is not the official time. I'll keep you posted on the official time as the game goes on. We're almost 5 minutes into this first half. The Mustangs still on offense, a little bit further out on offense, though, this time, close to the midfield line. Now they're getting towards the box. Great goal-scoring opportunity. They get around one tackle, and the shot is good! What a fast start by the Mustangs, all set up by the tremendous carry into the box. The pass is always prettier than the shot. At least that's what my dad used to say growing up, and on that play, he was certainly right. The pass was tremendous. The shot was easy money. So not even 5 minutes into the season, and the Knights have given up a goal to the Mustangs. This Mustangs offensive unit strong to start things here. We'll find out who that goal scorer was in a moment.
Monroe goal scored by number 44, Myra Lima. Assisted by number 15, Luana Grabrias. Time of goal, 3 minutes, 40 seconds.
So the score was by number 44, Myra De Lima, and the goal was by number 44. The assist was number 15, Luana Grabrias. And the Knights, an early hole, and this game is starting to look very similar to the first game. The Harcum Bears got out to an early 1-0 lead and never looked back. Monroe in an opportunity to do the same if they can keep the foot on the gas pedal here. They're already out to a 1-0 lead, and they've got possession again. They're going to slow things down here. They'll work the ball onto the near sideline with 2 very good passes amongst the defenders, and they're tripped up. The Knights get possession, though, at the midfield line, and they're carrying. A pass goes past 3 Monroe defenders, but it goes behind the Knights player who didn't see it coming. And Maldonado would like to have that one back, I'm sure. The pass was behind her. She had no idea it was coming. If she could have turned around and saw it, she could have chased it down and maybe had an opportunity at goal scoring. An exciting start to this first half as we've had a goal, an opportunity for another goal here for the Bears, and the defense runs it down, but the offsides call was made. That near line judge was hiding over there. I couldn't see him, but the head referee did. That's all that matters. Free kick just a couple yards in front of the box. And that comes off the head, strangely. Number 14, Josephine Eske, one of the sophomores returning from last year's team. She got the head on it, but it came off the top of the head and went out of bounds. And the Mustangs have possession. And they'll play it back to the keeper. This Knights team, a much larger team than the Mustangs team. Much more players coming off the bench. Long shot, splits the uprights. That'll count for 3 tomorrow on Sunday, but nothing here this afternoon. A couple more like that, the Chicago Bears may give her a tryout. And our first corner of the game, it'll be from the far sideline. We saw a corner kick goal in our first game. Could we see one here in our second game? Remember, once again, fans, this is just game 2 of 4 games here on Saturday. We'll have another 4 games on Sunday. After this game, the men's teams will start their action. And 2 crosses that were not very good. No way around it, honestly. The cross on the corner was not good, did not get a lot of air underneath of it, and the second cross on the rebound was, well, worse than the first one. 37 minutes and some change left here in this first half. Mustangs will take possession again. Though they're still in their defensive zone. Long pass, good defensive effort. Forces the Mustangs out of position, but the Mustangs regroup, and now they find the Knights out of position. And a good save coming off the line with not a lot of time to spare. Goalkeeper Sam Tornator. Sam wearing number 20. She's a freshman out of Nottingham, Maryland. Spent her high school days at Eastern Tech. A very solid soccer program at Eastern Tech for the men and the women. The ref shaking his head in disapproval. Mustangs player trying to say, hey, it wasn't me. That works when you're shaggy, but not here this afternoon. Almost a full 10 minutes into this first half, and we've already got a goal for the Mustangs. Knights trying to get their first solid offensive opportunity of the game. They do have a corner to their name. Give and go there. No give and no go. And that one's an offsides call. Shoulders are up from the Mustangs player, but that one's a pretty obvious offsides call. Number 44. That's a jersey number you don't see much in soccer, especially at this level. Wonder if that has any sentimental value. Personally, as a baseball fan, every time I see number 44, I think of Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. Mustangs with possession right near the sideline. Tried to go for the through ball. Had a player running up that near sideline, but it's stonewalled by the Knights defense that has certainly started to find their footing as the Mustangs, since that goal, have had nothing going on offense. This Knights squad, I think they're going to be a tough defensive squad this year as we got another corner here for the Knights. Let's see if it's better than the second. This one coming from the near sideline, the last one coming from the far. And a much better effort this time, almost picture perfect. But it goes off the head of a Mustangs player instead. Maybe a little long, but a lot of air under that. A great opportunity for a Knights player to get underneath of it and put a head on it. And here come the Mustangs. This is how they got their first goal. Can they get a second? The shot is not very good. That's some weak Kool-Aid right there. Gotta put some more powder in that. Make it strong. Get a great opportunity like that and you whiff at it. Coach Fiedler in his second year as the head coach for the women's team here. He's been the head coach of the men's team for a few years now. He's done a great job with the men, looking to continue that success with the women's program here. Knights fans at home watching, if you haven't checked it out already, check out the Kingdom podcast. That is up on the Knights social media pages. You'll see some exclusive interviews with Coach Fiedler talking about the men's team and the women's team. Talked about how much of a learning curve it's been coaching this women's team here for the second year. Everything's different. He's got a lot of confidence in this team and thinks that this could be a very successful season for this team. And not a successful defensive effort that time, as we could see our second goal of the game, and we will. Oh, my, the trickery. The beautiful dribbling, creating the space, and getting the goal. That will go on the top 10 list for sure. You may not see a prettier goal all season long for this Mustang squad, and they are already up 2-0. About 10 minutes and some change into this first half. Not the way Coach Fiedler wanted this season to start. He's going to have a substitution come into the game. So the goal, Sydney Clark. As I was saying before the announcement, Coach Fiedler is going to send a substitution into the game, and I am guessing that that substitution is going to be on the defensive line, as that was not a great effort defensively in trying to get that ball. And the bad effort defensively led to the easy goal-scoring opportunity for the Mustangs, and the Knights find themselves in a pretty big hole to start things here in the first half, down 2-0. Montgomery Raptors found themselves down 2-0 in the first half, and that was the death sentence for them. They ended up losing the game 4-0. The Knights certainly not trying to recreate that, but they're in the process of doing so right now. That one goes off the top of the head and backwards, not the way they wanted to go. The Knights will get possession, though. Played in towards the middle. Mustangs defense really strong right now. Right time, right place. Tremendous effort. And whoa, a big kick unleashed there. Most importantly, it's handled successfully by the Knights. Big leg on the keeper there, Sam Tornator. I'm sure she's got to be frustrated. Not only is she giving up 2 goals, let's be honest, she maybe got embarrassed a little bit on that second goal. Goal scorer for the Mustangs, Sydney Clark, had her turned around a couple times, almost like she was Barry Sanders. Oh, here's a through ball opportunity, and the flag is up, and waving almost immediately. Clark with the hands up. Almost like she was saying, what happened? That was a pretty obvious offsides. That's why it's so important for the defensive line to move as a line, to move as a unit. You set yourself up for those offsides opportunities when you stay as a line. You have one person hanging back, you're going to miss out on a lot of offsides opportunities as a defense. You know, it's like a coach in basketball. They'll tell you, use the line, use the out-of-bounds line as an extra defender. If you move as a line, as a defensive unit in soccer, you can use the offsides rule as an extra defender. This one is not offsides. It's a one-on-one opportunity, the second of the game for Clark. And much like the first, she puts a good shot on, but she cannot finish. Tremendous defensive effort there by the Knights. They make the save, but they also recover and clear it out of the danger zone. Wow, that easily could have been the third goal of the game for the Mustangs, and no one would have been surprised. Bad clear attempt. The ball goes rolling towards the goalkeeper. The Knights are able to recover and kick it out of bounds. The Mustangs will still have possession, though, as we're under 30 minutes to play in this first half, and it has been all Mustangs to start things here. Mustangs far sideline. Two Knights players right there, and oh my, that's a much better shot than I thought it was going to be. Coming in there low and hot. In baseball, they'd say that's a ground ball with eyes. Here comes an opportunity for the Knights. Nice move getting around one defender, but the pass cannot get through the line. And the defensive line for the Mustangs has been solid to start things here in game one. Here's a great opportunity. The through ball, space, carrying into the box. The shot with the right foot. Oh, what a save! Oh, my! Saved it with the foot and the hand, and she's now just recovering after that. Number 44, Mara De Lima. She will see that one in her nightmares moving forward. That was a great opportunity at goal. She just missed out on. The Knights goalkeeper giving up 2 early goals but making 2 saves since then that have kept her team in the game. Coach Fiedler and the Knights offense, though, need to figure out a way to get through or past. Whether they got to go over, under, or around, they've got to figure out a way to get past this stone wall of a Mustangs defense right now. Played into the box. No Knights players around. Mustangs player is close, and they'll clear it out of the box. Not out of the danger zone altogether, though. And there's a trip up from behind. They'll let the possession go. Look like the two players just got the feet tangled up there. Ball, another one-on-one opportunity. And this time it's a goal. 3-0 Mustangs. That is 3 one-on-one opportunities for the Mustangs, 2 of which have led to goals. And oh man, what a tough start for this Knights team. So much excitement surrounding this Knights team coming into this game. Second year under head coach Joe Fiedler. Lots of new players coming back. Lots of new players coming into the squad, and lots of really good players coming back from last year's team. And this is not how they wanted to start the season. 3 early goals, not even 20 minutes into the first half, and they already find themselves in a relatively large hole. 3-0. Now, this Knights squad is no stranger to comebacks. A lot of these players who are returning from last year's team were on the wrong side of a couple big comebacks last year. The Knights had a run where they had 3, maybe even 4 games where they lost, where they took 2-0 leads into the second half last year and ended up losing the game. So the Knights certainly know a thing or two about comebacks, and let's see if they've got one in store for them this afternoon. The Mustangs players down on the ground, not getting up. Thought it was just drama at first, but she seems to be in some pain. Thought it was just her being upset that she missed out on a goal-scoring opportunity, but the referee has sent the X up, and the trainer is headed out onto the field. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after the injury. The Mustangs are up 3-0. The Knights have an opportunity to talk strategy. They'll certainly take it. Two teams are back out onto the field. Injured player seems to be all right, getting some water on the sidelines. Probably a cramp. Going to see a lot of those this weekend, I'm sure. Early part of the season, still hot out there. Sportsmanship on display as the Mustangs give the ball right back to the Knights. Though the Knights give the ball right back to the Mustangs right afterwards, and I don't think that had anything to do with sportsmanship. That was just a bad touch. It went past everyone, and the Mustangs were able to chase it down. This Mustangs team is bringing it here this afternoon, not just on offense, but if you notice, the midfield and defensive play, it's not only been solid, it's been physical. They're making contact on their tackles, and they're putting bodies on bodies and making sure that their presence is felt at all times. Even when you don't get the steal, you got bodies smashing into bodies. That goes a long way in wearing down a team. That and goal scoring goes a very long way in wearing down a team. If the Mustangs can keep this up, they may have the Knights on the ropes before the end of this first half. A great through ball, give and go. Opportunity for scoring, just missed. And a great recovery on defense by, I believe, number 4 of the Knights. Natalie Berkey, I believe it was. Yes, sophomore defender out of Bel Air, Maryland. Spent her high school days at John Carroll. Co-ed private school here in the Baltimore area. Tremendous effort there for number 4. Probably kept a goal off the board. Going to have to do some more work to keep another goal off the board here, though, as the Mustangs have possession in great goal-scoring area. The Knights need to clear it. They don't. And give another opportunity to the Mustangs. They finally clear it. But it's not a great clear attempt. But they're bailed out as the Mustangs commit the foul. Here come the Knights. They're down, but certainly not out. There's a lot of time left, and they've got a lot of quality goal scorers. Michaela Boyle being one of them, number 1, a returning player from last year's team. She led the team in goal scoring last year. She also finished with a tremendous shots on goal percentage. 60% of the shots that she took last year ended up going on goal. That is a shot percentage that even professional players would love to have. So Boyle is a player that the Knights are looking forward to this season. And oh my, another through ball gets through. Here come the Mustangs. They get it around the goalkeeper, and they have their 4th goal of the game. It took the Montgomery Raptors a lot longer to get to, it took the Harcum Bears a lot longer to get to 4 goals. The Monroe Mustangs, they're making 4 goals look easy right now. "22 minutes and some change left in this first half, and the Mustangs already have a 4-0 lead. This is a coachable moment for sure here for the Knights. Let's see how the Knights react to finding out that their big hole just got a little bit bigger. Do they put their head down, or do they continue to fight? I think they're going to continue to fight. Certainly not the way that they wanted this weekend to start, but there's still a lot of time left here in this game. Pull up the bootstraps on defense and find a way to break through on offense. At the end of this 20 minutes, it could be halftime, and we could have a brand new ball game on our hands. Or we could be looking at the Mustangs' lead being even bigger than 4. This is a big 20-minute stretch here for the Knights. And to keep the heads up high and find a way to stop the bleeding. They've got the players, they've got the talent. They just need the opportunity. Here's a great opportunity, getting it towards the midfield line. Now switching fields. There's a lot of space on that far sideline. Can they take advantage? And they cannot. The door is shut almost immediately. Tremendous recovery by the Mustangs defense, putting a stop to the momentum before it ever really got rolling. Here come the Mustangs. Played past the midfield line. Another through ball. This will find its way through again, but it's misplayed on the first touch. And a Mustangs offense. Really, I don't want to be rude, but the Knights have really made it easy for them. That was almost another one-on-one opportunity at goal scoring. The Mustangs have had way too many one-on-one opportunities. That ball cannot find its way through the defensive line as much as it has in this first half. You've got to stay stronger as a unit. You've got to figure out a way to cut out those long passes. Whether it's intercepting those passes in the air and getting a body on the ball like you just saw there, or staying closer on your offensive man. This defense for the Knights has to figure out a way to stop the bleeding, and it starts with figuring out a way to stop those long passes. The way those long passes have cut through the defense, it's almost looked like a video game. That time they did a great job of two players going after that ball and getting a foot on it. Here's an opportunity, carrying it. They get past one defender, but oh my. Stonewall tackle there. And they're pushing things defensively. The Mustangs are not letting up at all. And why should they? Still a lot of time left here in this game. A through ball finds its way through. Goalie's off the line. And it's a 5th goal in the first half for the Mustangs. A tremendous through ball there from number 30. Barbara Serrano. She set that whole thing up by getting the interception on the tackle. So she forced the turnover, then carried it into the offensive zone. Little hot potato action. She got the ball back. A tremendous through ball. And that is the 5th goal of the game for the Mustangs. And we are only at the 18-minute mark of the first half. I said it a few moments ago, if the Knights want to find a way to stop this bleeding, it has to start with finding a way to stop those long passes. And the long pass worked to perfection again that time. As Barbara Serrano looking like Steph Curry wearing number 30, and she looked like Steph Curry with that pass as well, cooking up a goal. Looking like Steph Curry there with the ref as well, saying, hey, what I do? She had the hands on the backside there. The Knights player, pretty obvious call. Referee right in a perfect position to see it and make the call. Though the Knights aren't able to take advantage of it as they give the ball almost immediately right back to the Mustangs. This offensive unit has struggled. Oh, my, again! And this time the goalie's able to make a play, but it's a trip, and we're going to see a penalty kick. First penalty kick of the game, first penalty kick of the season for the Knights. And here is a tremendous opportunity for the Mustangs. A penalty kick already with a score of 5-0 in the first half. Will it go to 6-0, or are we going to see a penalty kick save? Referee clearing out of the way. 5-0 is the score. 16:35 on the clock here in the first half. And the whistle blows. Here's the kick. And it's an easy goal. The goalie picks the wrong side. And the reaction time just wasn't fast enough to get in front of it. And the nightmare first half continues for the Knights.
Monroe, PK goal scored by number 45, Isabel Tola. Time of the goal, 20 minutes, 36 seconds.
Now the Knights with the possession. Ball's on the far sidelines. They're going to slow things down, work it to the defense again. Obviously, the Knights want to get goals. They want to find a way to get back into this game, but I think what Coach Fiedler really wants to see here is his team figure out a way to stop the bleeding. He wants to see his team figure out a way to just be competitive here in this game, because this is all Mustangs and it is all been a beatdown, really. Mustangs came out, threw the first punch, and they have not stopped punching since. See if the Knights can size up and find a way to throw a counterpunch. Get back into this one. Ball played through. This one's right on the outside of the box. Another through ball and another goal. That one got past the outstretched leg. Really nothing that goalkeeper Sam Tornatore can do against a lot of these shots, as they're just point-blank one-on-one opportunities. You know, you have a game or a play where someone gets control of the ball and just goes through a bunch of players, has a lot of fancy dribbling moves and kind of just clears through the whole team. Now, you can live with that because you're not going to have those plays happen often. But when you have through balls continuously going through the defense, that's not going to sit well with the coach. Because it reflects poorly on the defense, but it doesn't just reflect poorly on the defense and their skills. It reflects poorly on the defense's communication skills, because so much of defense in all sports, but so much of defense, particularly in soccer, is communication, knowing who's guarding who, where the ball is. And the communication has not been solid here for the Knights to start this game and to start this season, as we are under 15 minutes to play in this first half, and it is 7-0 Mustangs. Throw in. Very close to being an illegal throw in, as number 26's foot was almost on that line. Mustangs moving the ball around. They're playing it back to the defenders now. This is around the time you'll start to see teams not let up, because you still need to go after goals, because you get into tournament time, goal differential will play a part in seeding. So if two teams have identical records, both overall and in conference, goal differential will come down to which of those two teams gets the higher seed. So you'll never see a team completely let up. There's the offsides flag. So you'll never see a team just completely let up and not go after goals, but you'll start to see coaches tell teams, all right, we need 5 or 6 good passes before we take another shot. And may see this moving forward as the Mustangs are flexing the muscles and really laying the bub beat down on this Knight squad. Deflects off of a Mustangs player, so they'll save it with the foot. They can pick this up, though, because it wasn't played back intentionally. And they'll do that as a player gets closer. Play the walk-up game, as I like to call it. Just walk up with that ball until somebody gets closer. You see that a lot in lacrosse games. And that one, a very obvious offsides call. Good job by the Knights defense moving as a unit there. Coach Fiedler is up and down on that bench. Something going out there that he's not happy about. And it's not just the scoreboard. I'm sure he's definitely not happy about the scoreboard, but I'm sure he's more upset about why his team has gotten to this point and how his team has gotten to this point. Offsides call against the Knights that time. And those last 3 goals here, particularly the last one, But this Knights team was still running after it when it was only 4-0. It got to 7-0, and their body language, well, it's completely changed. Ten minutes left in the first half, and they already look like somewhat of a defeated team. You're going to have games like that. You can't always be on top. You're going to have games and moments in the season where you just go up against a buzzsaw. The other team just punches you in the mouth and you never recover. Certainly what this game has been here this afternoon. The Mustangs came out firing, had a goal not even 5 minutes into the game. And they have just continued to punch since then. Good interception right at the midfield line, or about 5 yards behind it. Knights trying to clear it out of their defensive zone. They're unsuccessful as the Mustangs will take over, but the Mustangs give it right back to the Knights. Knights player number 10, Kira Dietrich, looking for somebody to flash open. No one did. She ends up turning it over, and here come the Mustangs. Under 10 to play. Long shot is well wide of the net. Substitution coming into the game. One for the Mustangs and one for the Knights. The Mustangs player who is leaving, that's number 4, Caitlin Waterman. The Knights player who is leaving, that is number 6, Amai Purnell. Waterman, a sophomore midfielder out of North Charleston, South Carolina. Purnell, freshman defender out of Nottingham, Maryland. Played her high school days at Perry Hall. Here's a one-on-one opportunity and a tremendous save. Tried to go for the chip shot. She may not have hops like Randy Moss, but she certainly had hands like him there. Caught that one and squeezed it tight. Under 9 to play here in this first half. Mustangs in control again. Knights saved it from going to 8-0. That easily could have been another goal for the Mustangs. Speaking of goals, number 5 for the Knights maybe saved one there. Emily Vetri, sophomore defender out of Sparrows Point, Maryland. She went to Sparrows Point High School as well. Knights, a rich history of having some solid players come out of Sparrows Point. 7-0 will remain the score a little bit longer as the Knights will now take over possession. But that possession doesn't last long. But neither did the Mustangs' possession either. Knights working the ball on the far sideline. They get it up. They've got space. They don't have numbers. And they lost that space as well, but they still got possession of the ball. Nice move. Oh, here comes the Knights. Little lazy defense there from the Mustangs. Mustangs working really hard to clear that ball, but it's hard because they're playing down a defender right now. As the Mustangs defender is down and out on that far sideline, and we will take a timeout as the referee throws up the X. Just under 7 minutes left in this first half. And a Mustangs player is down, and the trainer's on the field. So we will take a break. Mustangs are up big. And the throw in, not handled very well there by the Knights. They almost turn it over. They'll recover and get possession. Injured player for the Mustangs is out of the game and on the sideline. Keep you updated on if she comes back into the game. Things continue the way they are, though. If they continue to go the way they're going, I don't think we'll see her again, though. Probably more of a precaution than anything. Injured player was number 30, Barbara Sereno, for the Mustangs, who has been very solid on defense and also on offense, as she has an assist here in this game. Just over 5 minutes left to play in the first half, and the Mustangs are knocking on opportunity's door again, and they will cut through and get through the defense. One-on-one opportunity is a goal as they beat the goalkeeper and then the last line defender as well. I believe that was number 3, Mia Brookshire, trying to play the Don Beebe role. Don Beebe, legendary Buffalo Bills wide receiver, had an effort in the Super Bowl that saved a touchdown. Brookshire trying to have some of that same magic here this afternoon, but she was in the right position, but just not at the right time. A little late. Mustangs are able to get the shot off and the goal. And, man, I was marveling in our first game about how the Harcum Bears had just a tremendous ratio for shots on goal and goals. They had 8 shots on goal in the game and 4 goals. So they were shooting at 50%. Well, the Mustangs, they're above 50%. They've got 14 shots on goal and 8 goals, and they could get another one here as no, they're offsides. Going to get a yellow card, I think, for a delay of game. Yep. Not great sportsmanship there. They had an 8-0 game. Coachable moment there. Luena, Grabayas, freshman out of Brazil. It's not only the yellow card, though. The yellow card and then walking off the field. Not a very classy move. I'll leave it at that. Trickery is stopped there as the Knights intercept the pass, or intercept the ball on the spin attempt. Got possession, carrying it into the offensive zone. An opportunity. They lose possession of the ball. And now with just over 4 to play in the first half, the Mustangs will take possession here. Brought up earlier the interview that Coach Fiedler gave earlier this week talking about the women's team. Said he wanted to coach this team much like the men's team. He wants the schedule to be front-loaded. He wants this team to go up against the best competition available right away. He wants to test this team right out of the gate. That's why this Monroe game was scheduled. Not only the Monroe game, but then Harcum as well. They're going to have their hands full here to start the season. And I think that's the smart way to do things. You want to throw those feet directly to the fire right away. You want to find out as a coach, do you have the kind of team that's going to be molded by the fire, or do you have the kind of team that's going to be broken and burnt by the fire? And you're going to find that out early here, as Monroe's laying the beat down right now, and they're going to have another tough competition tomorrow afternoon when they go up against the Harcum Bears, who were 4-0 winners against the Montgomery Raptors earlier today. So the tests are going to be early and often here to start things this season, as Michaela Boyle will take a seat on the bench. Number 14, Josephine Eske, will check back into the game. I talked about Boyle earlier today. Boyle, leading scorer for the Knights last year. One of only 2 players to go and have double-digit goals. Michaela Boyle wears number 1. She's a sophomore midfielder out of Parkville, Maryland. Spent her high school days at Eastern Tech. Knights team has a proud history of working with the Eastern Tech program. A lot of really good players have come from Eastern Tech to CCBC Essex. Michaela Boyle, just another one of those players in a long line. A line that will continue to get longer, I'm sure, as Eastern Tech is not too far from this CCBC Essex campus. And they're one of the better high school soccer programs here in the Baltimore area. Under 2 to play now in this first half. Barbara Sereno, player who left the game injured earlier, is back out onto the court. Or excuse me, back out onto the turf. She came in for the player who got the yellow card. And the Knights looking like they thought that ball was out of bounds. The referee agreed as he blew that whistle, and now the Knights will have a throw in on the far sideline with just a minute left in this first half. First half is certainly not going their way, and it will certainly take a mini miracle to get back into this one. You could make your coach real happy if you came out with a lot of fire in the second half. So they've kind of been flat-footed the last 10 minutes or so here in this first half. Can hardly blame them, as this has been a tough first half, but as a head coach, you certainly never want to see that. Be interesting to see what this Knights team looks like in the second half, as we're about to see the final play of the first half. Scully puts the ball on the ground, short kick over to defender on this near sideline, and that will be all she wrote for the first half. The score is 8-0 in favor of the Monroe Mustangs. A nightmare start to this soccer-filled weekend for the Knights program, as they are down big at the end of the first 45. We'll be back with the second 45 after this short break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here and ready to play the final 45 minutes of a contest that, well, hasn't been as exciting as I thought it was going to be. I was wondering what that confusion was. The Knights didn't have enough players on the field. Now they got a full squad, and the Mustangs are ready to start things. Started to say, though, when we got back, that this game, simply put, just has not been as exciting as I thought it was going to be. Thought we were going to have a back-and-forth contest on our hands. The offense for the Mustangs has come out firing. They have not stopped firing. And the defense has been very solid. They've stopped out all of the Knights' chances so far. Now, the Knights haven't had a lot of chances, but the chances that they have had have not been able to materialize. And, oh, what a great spin in the box. Gets around one defender, around the second, and cannot get around the third. And a great head ball on the line from the defender to save the goal. That easily could have been the 9th goal of the game for the Mustangs, and it would have been possibly the prettiest. The spin to set things up. Oh, nice through ball, and nothing that the goalkeeper could do about that. That was picture-perfect soccer. You can't make it look any easier, even in a video game. Man, that was just perfect. The one-touch pass to the teammate who was cutting towards the middle goal-scoring area, and they finished it off with some power into the top corner. A tremendous goal. The 9th of the game. And they're going to continue to keep the clock running.
Monroe goal scored by number 18, Timothy Clark. Time to goal 47-30.
I think we're going to see that moving forward here for the rest of this contest. The clock will probably continue to run for this entire second half. No stoppage unless absolutely necessary. This game is really no longer in doubt and hasn't been in doubt for quite some time now. As I said before, the Mustangs offense came out firing, never stopped firing, and their defense has been picture perfect. And it's not just the defensive line, it's the midfielders as well. The midfielders came to play. They put their bumping shoes on as they've been bumping and running, getting tackles, but also, oh, nice heel flick up the near sideline. There's space. They'll slow things down, though. Oh, man, was that pretty. Oh, that's pretty, too. And the pass sets up the shot and goal. Oh, my goodness. Put that on a highlight tape and put it on YouTube because that was pretty. All set up by the heel flick. And then the step over, the pass, the shot and goal. And they are not stopping here. The Mustangs now up 10-0. That is 2 goals in the second half, and we're not even 5 minutes into the second half. That is astonishing offensive output from the Mustangs. Good defensive effort on the near sideline, trying to get the ball right back. And the way the effort is for the Mustangs here in this game, you'd think they were the team that was down. You certainly wouldn't think that they're down or up 10-0 because they are continuing with the foot on the gas pedal, and the Knights, much like they looked in the start of the first half, or start of this. Let me try that one more time. Much like the Knights looked at the end of the first half, here at the start of the second half, they look like a defeated team. Can't say I blame them, though. You give up 2 goals in the first 5 minutes. Going to make you feel a certain type of way. Remember, fans, this is just game 2 of 4 games here on Saturday and 4 games on Sunday. We'll have men's soccer action after this. I believe we'll be starting things off with Monroe versus Harcum. And then we'll be finishing things off for today with Eastern Florida versus CCBC Essex, the men's team, of course. Harcum, their men will be looking to make it a 2-0 sweep for them on Saturday, as the women's team had a 4-0 win over Montgomery. Ball is played and controlled about 5 yards in front of the midfield, or in front of the box. Wasn't controlled long, though, as you see the Mustangs have it, and they are running. The Knights are looking for the offsides call. It will not come. Shot, and it's off the post. She'll be thinking about that one later. Paula Toledo, freshman midfielder from Brazil. $11 players in the starting lineup here for Monroe. 6 of those players born outside of the United States, 5 of them being from Brazil, 1 of them from Venezuela. So it's an international team, really, this Monroe squad. They have been dominant here so far. 10 goals already, and there's still over 30 minutes to play. And on top of that, they're pitching a shutout. Shutout in game 1 as the Harcum Bears were 4-0 winners over the Montgomery Raptors. Let's see if the Knights can get a goal here before this contest is over. It's going to be tough. The offense is solid for Monroe. The defense has been perfect. Mustangs will have another shot here. Throw in on the far sideline. Played into the box, but sent away. And that one played off of the stomach area of the Knights defender, and a slide tackle in the box from behind, but they got enough of the ball as there's no call. Mustangs player is down, and the trainer will head onto the field as we will take a break. 10-0 here in the first half. Two teams are back on the field and ready to play the rest of this contest. 35 minutes and some change is all that separates these two teams from the end of this game. Remember, once again, at home, fans, encourage you guys to stick around and watch Game 3 and Game 4 on Saturday, and also stick with us on Sunday as we'll have 4 more games. Monroe, team you're seeing right now, will be taking on Montgomery tomorrow, and the Knights team that you're seeing right now will be taking on Harcum tomorrow. There's a through ball that will not find its way through, or will it? No, it will not. Great effort to chase that one down. That is Mia Brookshire. Brookshire saved a goal from being scored earlier today as well. Number 25 for the Knights, Allison Small. Usually a goalkeeper, getting a chance to play at the midfield position here right now because of the score looking the way it does. Should get herself some brownie points with her coach because of the effort, but the referee says, hey, you know what, maybe settle it down a little bit. She got the call, set the Mustangs up in this situation. This is going to be an interesting play here. Mustangs with a free kick right outside of the box, set up in a really good goal-scoring position. And the shot is, wow. Once again, you could not draw that up any better in a video game. That was just perfect. Right over the outstretched arms of the keeper. And it was bending, like the shot was sent away from the keeper and then it bent towards the keeper. That's you see a goal like that, it's almost like a perfect curveball in baseball. It just makes you shake your head and say, what are you supposed to do against that? Nothing. (11-0) is the score. And they are not letting up. Monroe is keeping the foot on the gas pedal. They're trying to get steals in the defensive zone still, going after it, not letting the Knights breathe at all. Things continue this way. We may be looking at the Monroe Mustangs hanging a 15 or more goal, hanging up 15 or more goals on this Knights team. And that will be a first, I believe, at least in my time here. Don't think I've seen either the men or the women give up that many goals in a game. Here come the Knights. And Michaela was there, but so was the goalkeeper, trying a through ball over to number 1, Michaela Boyle. Boyle has been held in check here so far. Well, the whole offense has been held in check. Ball played over everyone's head. And it is recovered by the Mustangs, and they chase it down, and they play it back to the keeper. Keeper can't pick this one up. So she'll just send it over to a teammate. The Mustangs are playing picture-perfect soccer right now. Short passes, working the ball up the midfield line. Nice pass with the chip. And now the offense is open towards the middle, but the goalie makes a good play and comes off the line with not a lot of time to spare. Gets the ball out of the danger zone, at least for a moment. Wow, that ball stayed in bounds. What an incredible play. Kicked it back towards the defense. I was sure that ball was going to go out of bounds the way it was hugging the line. Guess it hit nothing but smooth pebbles. And now the Mustangs are on the attack, but not for long, as the Knights have possession here once again, right in front of the midfield line. Can they hold on to it, get something going here offensively? That one, ooh, very close to being a handball. Looked like it came up in towards the arm area of the Mustangs player. Must have got a chest on it before, though. There's a through ball. Gets through everyone. Mustangs chase it down. Got a defender right on the backside, and what a tremendous defensive effort there by Mia Brookshire. Matched up against Paula Toledo. Toledo has been the MVP of the game so far here for the Mustangs. She's coming off that tremendous goal. It was the 11th of the game for the Mustangs. Here's another one, and it cannot be caught cleanly. The rebound, it won't matter as the flag was up in the air. Peyton Abruzzi, number 0, sophomore goalkeeper out of Houston, Texas, Severna Park, Maryland. Or Severna Park High School is where she spent her high school days. Abruzzi was the starting goal last year for the Knights team. She battled through some injuries, played in the field some. She had a great save percentage last year. I want to say she saved, I think, either 55 or 60% of the shots that she saw last year. I was somewhat surprised that she wasn't the starting goalie when they announced the starters in today's contest. Thought maybe she was battling an injury. She's getting a play here in the second half after a tough first half from Sam Tornator, a freshman out of Nottingham, Maryland. Under 30 to play now in this contest. At the Harcum Bears men's squad behind the goal for Monroe, starting to warm up. So they'll be in our first matchup of the men's teams. After this game, they'll be taking on Monroe. Nice defensive effort there from number 22 for the Knights, Victoria Santoro, sophomore defender out of Baltimore, Maryland. She went to Perry Hall Christian High School. Santoro really the last line of defense there. She didn't make that play. It would have been another free opportunity at goal for the Mustangs. And I'll tell you, as much as this second half has not been successful for the Knights, one thing that they have been able to do, and before I continue, I'll knock on wood because I don't want to jinx them, but they have done a better job here in the second half of limiting the long passes for Monroe. That was something they really struggled with in the first half. Monroe was just tearing them up with the through ball. Hasn't been there in the second half, though that one was. And this is an easy opportunity at goal scoring. They'll chip it over the left shoulder of Abruzzi. And that is another goal for the Mustangs. Make it an even 12. It is 12-0 with just over 25 minutes left in this first half. And maybe I shouldn't have said anything because I start to comment on the fact that the Knights have done a better job stopping the through ball. And as soon as I say that, the Mustangs put a through ball over towards Toledo, and Toledo's able to bury it into the back of the net. Toledo having an afternoon that she'll never forget, that's for sure. And Michaela Boyle trying to flick it with the back heel. She missed it altogether. Ends up going down as a turnover. Here come the Mustangs. Scoring opportunity. Shot and goal. Abruzzi guessed right as she dove towards that ball. The reaction times are just a little slow here this afternoon for everybody on the Knights team. It's not just the goalkeepers. The defense has been slow as well. Just an afternoon they'd like to forget. Mustangs were up 8-0 to start things in this second half, and they're well on their way to tying that record of 8 goals and a half, as they've already got 5.
Monroe goal scored by number 4, Caitlin Wyman.
Quick play over to Boyle. The ball was behind Boyle, so she had to make the adjustment. And it ends up going down as a turnover. The Mustangs aren't able to capitalize that time as they give the ball right back to the Knights. Here comes a carry on the far sideline, and they take it as far as they can, the Knights do, before losing control. Now under 25 to play. Scores 13-0. How much longer will it stay at 13-0 as the Mustangs are going to be knocking on opportunity's door here in a moment. They've got possession of the ball on the far sideline, and they are still pressing down on the gas pedal. That's something I just noticed. I'm pretty sure number 30, Barbara Sereno, sophomore for the Mustangs out of Venezuela, I'm pretty sure she switched shoes at halftime. Don't see that very often. She was wearing lime green cleats in the first half, and now she seems to have on black cleats. I thought that was more of an NBA player move. Remember Isaiah Thomas, when he was still on the Celtics, had a game where he only had 6 points in the first half and came back in the second half and had 32. A reporter asked him after the game why he had so much success in the second half. He simply said, well, I switched my shoes and they had more buckets in them. Sereno, the shoe switch, definitely not the reason why this game has gone the way of the Mustangs. That what you saw right there is the reason this game's gone the way it has for the Mustangs, though a great defensive recovery that time from Brookshire, and she is not shying away from the competition going on between her and Toledo. Mustangs continue to go towards Toledo, and she's certainly had her moments, but Brookshire is up for the challenge, and she has had her moments as well. One shining star on the defense for the Knights here this afternoon certainly has been number 3. A freshman, but she's playing more like a sophomore here this afternoon, finding herself in good position and making the most of it. Good cross across the midfield, across the middle of the box, and it cannot be played by Taylor Ball. That was a tremendous opportunity, probably the best of the game so far for the Knights. That was a great corner, and Ball was there, but so was a Mustangs defender, and that Mustangs defender was able to keep Ball from getting to the ball. And it'll go down as another missed opportunity for the Knights. They haven't missed a lot of opportunities. And that's obviously not because they're playing so well. It's because they haven't had that many opportunities. The offensive opportunities few and far between here for the Knights. 21-0 is the score. 21 minutes left in the contest. 13-0 is the score. And that is a stat line that speaks very loudly. You see there on the scoreboard, it says 1 shot on goal for the Knights and 20 shots on goal for the Mustangs. That says it all. Played back to the defense, intercepted by the Knights. They're working towards the middle. They lose possession, though. The ball's played a little bit too far out in front, and we find out why as the ref blows the whistle. There was some pushing and shoving going on, and the Knights will have another tremendous offensive opportunity. This is about 15, 16 yards out in front of the box. And have a chance to go for goal or maybe put it in the middle and let one of the teammates go after it. I think we're probably going to see the latter there. And this is one of the most frustrating things to me. We're on a football field. You know you have to be 10 yards away. The markers are right there. Referee slowing things down to make sure the wall is in the right position. Here comes the kick, and it is off the upright. So it is out of bounds. The upright is more narrow than the goal, so had good location outside of the fact that it was high. You got to get that shot a little lower, and if it was, it could have been a goal. Though the Mustangs goalkeeper is pretty tall, stands at 5'6". Here come the Mustangs, a through ball onto the far sideline, and there is no one around that ball. Good recovery from the Knights to get towards it. The ball's played into the middle, and it's missed. The shot is missed. Great recovery from the Knights, because when that ball found its way through, it looked like an easy goal. The effort was there, though, from the Knights. They stayed on top of it. Made the best out of a very bad situation. 13-0 is the score. It'll remain the score for at least a little bit longer. We're approaching 15 minutes left to play in this contest. It's a contest that the Knights would like to forget. I won't be bragging about this one to the kids later. Ball played through the defense, into the box, slow it down to get around the defender. And the shot, it's good. It's a slow roller. That gets past the goalkeeper, and that is 14-0. 2 goals away from going 8 in the first half and 8 in the second half. They've got plenty of time. Man, what a stat line right there. It says 21 shots on goal and 14 goals. That means they've only had 7 shots not go on goal. And they are capitalizing on more than 50% of their shots. It's a numbers game, and they are winning it here this afternoon. The Mustangs, that is. Pronouns, pal. Warm-up stretches continue for the men on the sideline as the Harcum Bears and the Monroe Mustangs are now both warming up. We're going to get to see men's soccer action after this, so I encourage you, please stick around for Game 3 and Game 4. That's offsides, not by much, maybe a hair. "15 minutes left in this contest, but as I was saying, really want to encourage you guys to stick around and watch Game 3 and Game 4. We got 2 men's soccer games after this. And those 4 programs that are going to be involved are 4 of the top programs at this level, and another offsides call. CCBC Essex Knights coming off a tremendous season last year. They'll be going up against East Florida, one of the top-ranked programs in the nation at this level. The Harcum Bears, a very, very good team last year. And same thing with the Monroe Mustangs, one of the more quality programs at this level, all 4 of those programs. You're going to see a lot of good soccer here. The Knights, first shot on goal there, and the second shot on goal that cannot get through. Oh, man, they were gifted an opportunity, and they could not capitalize on it. The Mustangs found themselves out of position there for a moment, and they almost watched their shutout go up in flames. And a little show of respect there between the goalkeeper and the middle defender, Barbara Sereno and Stephanie Rosa. Know that they were both responsible for making sure that the shutout continues. Roja, made the first save. And then Sereno came in and made a good move. Kept that ball from passing the line. I'll tell you, the thing that's really stuck out to me, or the 2 things that have really stuck out to me with this Mustangs team is, one, the passing. The passing has been just very crisp, very solid. And the other thing that's really stood out to me about this Mustangs team is how they are not afraid to be physical whatsoever. They look for opportunities to put bodies on bodies, both offensively and defensively. And when you're bumping and running like that, it just takes so much out of the other team, both physically and mentally. Because you know you're getting beat up on the scoreboard, but you're also just physically getting beat up as well. You saw it on the last throw-in attempt for the Mustangs. Their player number 15, Luena Grabayas, she was just putting her backside right into the front of the Knights player. And it's just making your presence felt. The players will wait for that contact to come to them. Well, this Mustangs team, they've been seeking out the they've been seeking out the punishment. They've been seeking out. And as you say, the ball goes out of bounds there, and the Knights will take over. Good opportunity. 10 yards in front of the midfield line. As I was saying, the Mustangs, they've been the team seeking out the contact. They've been playing like an old school basketball team, like a 1990s New York Knicks team, coached by the great Pat Riley, built on defense. They say it a lot in professional sports. Defense wins championships. We live in an era of offense. There's more home runs hit now than ever before in Major League Baseball. There's more three-pointers scored every year in the NBA. More great offenses popping up in the NFL every year, but defense still wins championships. It's obvious everywhere you look. Look at the Super Bowl this past year. It's a defensive struggle. Look at the NBA Finals this past year. Kawhi Leonard wins the MVP and leads his team to the NBA Finals. Is the best defensive player in the league. Houston Astros, probably World Series favorites right now. Why? They got a great offense? Yeah, but they also got great pitching as well. The offense sells tickets, but defense still wins championships. The Knights' defense will certainly have to improve moving forward this season if they want to be in the championship hunt. Mustangs' defense needs to continue to stay solid, stay healthy, and to continue to work as a unit. They've done a great job working together. There's a lot of communication on the field, and it's one-sided. It's coming all from the Mustangs. Nice defensive effort there that time from the Knights. Number 5, Emily Vitry. She's had a couple good moments here in this contest as well. Her and Mia Brookshire not giving up here in this one. Michaela Boyle plays it up front to Dietrich. Dietrich, can she chase this one down? She can, but the angle was a better one for the Mustangs player. So they're able to chase it down and also get control of it. Mustangs will finally play it back to the keeper. Had 2 balls on the field there for a moment. One of the balls the men's team for Harcum Bears was warming up with found its way out onto the field of play. And a goalie there for the Mustangs, throwing caution to the wind and just throwing the body right at that ball, making the save. They'll cross fields here with the punt. Tremendous effort there from number 20, Marissa Lamb, to save it from going out of bounds. Lamb is from Richfield, Utah. Long way from home, but I certainly hope that she's got some fans on the other side of the map watching this game. Mustangs in possession, trying to get around the defense. They do. Ball played in towards the middle. Shot and saved by Abruzzi. Mustangs could have got a little bit more mustard on that. They would have been looking at their 15th goal of the game, because Peyton, on a slow roller, still had to go full extension dive onto the other side because she was running the opposite direction of where that ball was sent. And speaking of opposite, whatever Peyton wanted to do, the opposite happened. She sent that ball out of bounds. No possession for the Knights as they give it right back to the Mustangs. And here comes the offense for the Mustangs. Around 3 players up the far sideline. And a shoulder tackle. And a sell job Leonardo DiCaprio would be proud of. Yellow card certainly necessary that time. The shoulder was pretty obvious. I'm sure there was maybe a little elbow action to go along with it as well. The Mustangs will have a chance at a free kick on the far sideline, right on the outside of the box with just over 5 minutes left. Hands in the air, ball's in the air. And Peyton makes the save. Score will remain 14-0 for a little bit longer. I want to thank you for joining us here for the first two games of this kickoff weekend. If you like goal scoring, we certainly had a lot of it. It's been one way in both of the games as the Bears of Harkham won their game 4-0 over the Raptors. Oh, what a tremendous through ball. And it's played back, and trickery's going on. They're kind of just toying with the Knights there as the flick back towards the teammate lets them get on the goal scoring, and it's now 15-0. So we've had a total of 19 goals here in the first two games. Don't think we'll see that many goals in the next two games, that's for sure.
Assisted by number 15,
So the Mustangs now one goal away from putting up 8 in the first and then 8 in the second. And they know that as they're going after another one, and that one is going to be waved off sides. Very, very close. I just, every time I see that, it makes me laugh when the players put their hands up in the air as to say, what, I was offsides? I was definitely not offsides. What are you talking about? Has any ref in the history of soccer ever gone, you know what, you're right, I'm sorry. You weren't offsides. My bad. Got to be careful to stay on sides this time as well. Oh, off the back of the head. Ball stayed in bounds somehow. I'm sorry for laughing, but that was kind of comical. Players always want the call. 15-0, and they're still looking for a call there. Not going to get it as Peyton has the ball in her hands, and she will wait for her teammates to get set up, even though I'm sure they don't want to. Things are really starting to slow down there on the field. Starting to drag on. 2 minutes left. The Monroe men's team is behind the bench now, getting ready to take the field as soon as this game ends so they can go to their on-the-field warm-ups, as there will not be a lot of time in between games, much like in the first game, between the first two games. Harkham Bears not behind the sidelines, but over there underneath the scoreboard. They're getting ready for their game as well. Looking for the through ball. They've got it. Here's their best chance to get their 8th goal of the second half, and they will not get it. What a save! Oh, my! A shoestring save. Doesn't matter how you get it. They all count the same. But that was a tremendous save from the sophomore. Wonder if that save feels sweeter since the scoreboard looks the way it does. I imagine it would. You know, you give up so many goals in a game. You know, any save you're going to make is going to feel good, but you make a save like that where you got more times than not in a play like that, you're dead to rights. The offensive player is going to get around you, and they're going to find a way to score. But that time, Peyton was able to get a little finger on the ball. Once the goalie has a finger on the ball, the play is dead. It's their ball. Peyton with a tremendous effort that time. And that'll probably be the final play we see, as Monroe looks to be content with playing keep away for the last 20 seconds or so. Though the Knights look to get a goal here in the last 10 seconds, and they're going to get a chance. A shot will not come, and that'll be all she wrote, as the clock is going to hit triple zeros, and the final score in this one is 15-0 Mustangs. They put up 8 goals in the first half and 7 goals in the second half. And a nightmare start to the weekend for the CCBC Essex Knights. The men's team will be up later on this afternoon as they'll be taking on Eastern Florida. So they'll try and go 1-for-1 on Saturday in Game 3 up after this. So please stick around, but if you can't, I understand. And good afternoon, good evening, and good night.